This is a HeadGum podcast.
We are back. We are with the great Kyle Mooney. Kyle, you and Beck Bennett do a podcast called What's Our Podcast? How are you enjoying the podcast world?
I like it. No, I mean, I feel like the cliched things of like getting to create a reason to hang out with your friend are accurate. If that is a cliche, it feels like people have said that before.
Yeah.
But it kind of is. That's how we started.
But no, it's also, and I feel like, Jake, you and I talked about this the other day. It's another outlet when like sometimes outlets are hard to come by. So it's a place to riff, place to do weird voices and
have zero pressure.
Truly.
And it's so little stakes.
Yeah, and there's always
you can kind of do anything.
Yes, and there's typically something that's very special, but it might be like 90 minutes to find that one thing, but like there will be something that's cool.
I think that's exactly. So you guys, what was your guys' start? So you guys started up, were you doing sketch before you guys created your group? Or was that you and Kyle, you and Beck, you guys formed that together? What were you doing beforehand?
So Beck and I met auditioning for the improv group at USC, and that's where we also met our friend Nick Rutherford, and we did 4 years of improv and sketch in college.
Through the university?
Yes.
Okay.
And then when we got out, it was sort of the dawn of YouTube. YouTube had just became a thing.
Yeah.
And we'd already made the decision that we wanted to pursue some version of what we were doing. We had like, I feel like it was clear we had chemistry, you know what I mean? And like, and when we would do these sketch shows in school, like I think people saw that we worked together well and had something happening. So we started going on tour and we started making videos, and the videos sort of popped off in a way that we just pursued that a little more aggressively, and eventually we started finding our own separate work as like actors, and then ultimately we got on Saturday Night Live.
It's crazy.
That's the quickest version of it.
The Good Neighbor stuff, when you guys started doing it, I mean, we were sort of talking about it before. I mean, it was so good. It really...
so sweet.
There was a video that you did that I think I talked about on that date I asked you to go on years ago when we went out to lunch in Atwater, but where you're interviewing people. I think it's the Giants game.
Yeah.
So funny.
And
thank you.
You just kind of swallow your words in a way.
Yes. Yeah.
What is the mindset of so what Lamorne was saying that he didn't finish because we just started riffing on something else, but before they knew who Winston's character was, he would always get new ones. And it was that video that Lamorne used to always show us just to laugh. And he would just start doing that rhythm and bits, and then they started writing his character being awkward. But what was the kind of headspace? And do you stay into that guy the whole day? Like when you're with your little crew and you're just walking up to people asking them questions. Are you just staying in all day?
Yeah, I mean, so we did a few of them, and that one is called Ball Champions, I believe, if anyone wants to see it. And
you went to like a reptile convention or something too, right?
Yeah, and also the very first thing we did was the like Lakers championship parade. Yeah,
right, yes.
2 years in a row. Which the first one was really like Dave, who was our director and was behind the camera, and I grew up with him. He was like, oh, this parade is going to happen. We should go. And we didn't really have a sense of what we were going to do. And I had around the house been doing, I guess, like talking like that, or this bit of somebody who like doesn't quite know what they're talking about or has a vague sense.
The questions kind of make sense.
Right.
Well, everybody goes like, I don't know what you're asking.
The people are so lost, but there's a camera, so they want to be helpful.
Yes.
And there's something about you that's so likable and sweet that they don't want to be rude to you.
That's
but
so
they don't know
funny.
what you're saying.
Yeah. So yeah, essentially like I'm going up to people and like kind of asking questions, but also sometimes not. Sometimes there's statements. Sometimes like I'm just getting like, whatever. It would be like if I was at a baseball game, like, wow, for the real grand ones are being hit tonight. And then they'd say whatever they would say.
They go, sorry, what?
Yeah. But like, you're right. I think that like whatever it is about my demeanor, which I guess, is innocent and I probably seem very stupid. Like people
they don't want to be mean to you.
Incredibly nice. And like, it would often end in a hug or something like that. But I will say that Giants one specifically though, there are two sets of angry people. There's a couple dudes in front who really don't want to deal with me.
Yeah.
And then we had on the field access because we'd actually shot the piece for Norm Macdonald, had a show called Sports Show on Comedy Central. And so like, I'm interviewing baseball players and this player for the Giants, Aubrey Huff, is just very I guess confused by me, and I would say, I would argue mean, but yeah, it's entertaining, I suppose. But yes, to answer your first, in terms of like being in character, it was always incredibly intimidating to me and scary.
Sure.
And Dave was always good. Dave would just be like, go talk to them. And it's like, I'm just sort of like, okay, I'm going to do it.
And you just go, you like just get past the fear and just do it.
Yeah. And then like, after an hour, you pretty much settle in and then it's like.
You get the rhythm.
And then like, okay, that was a good one. You're kind of clocking in your head, like, I bet that'll make the final cut, etc.
Well, will you explain to this audience a little bit about your podcast so we can get people here listening to that one?
Oh, you're being very sweet. I feel like this is the third plug you've made and you're taking a very generous swing, and I want to say I'm thankful, and I hear you and I see you.
Thanks, man.
Because you don't have to do it, and I know that I've never done anything like that for you.
I don't think that's true.
The show is Beck and I. Beck, like I said, went to college with him. We ended up starting Saturday Night Live the same year, 2013. Made several sketches together, and he left a year prior to me, and we started families. And I think at some point, a year after I was done, we both sort of felt like, let's do something. Like, it's a piece of you is missing. This is a person I had worked with for 15 years or something like that. And, podcasting seemed like a way for us to hang, to do bits, and to like try something out. And so our show is called What's Our Podcast? And it's basically Beck and I trying to figure out what our podcast should be about. And guests come on and pitch us ideas, and then we make that podcast with them. And yeah, it's silly and sincere. It is different, right? It's like these other things you spend more time on, right? Like writing a screenplay or whatever, like takes a year or multiple years. Yeah.
And then you put it together and before it gets to the world, it's 18 months later. This is
right.
You do it
the exact opposite.
Yes. And then you hear from like people who are like close friends, like a year after it comes out into the world, like, hey, I saw it on an airplane. That was awesome, man. Like, you made no effort prior to that. Whereas, yes, this is immediate. And yeah, I feel like I've got, like my rando friends. Rando, I don't know why. I don't
That's
use
all right.
that word.
Safe space.
You gotta get rid of me saying the word rando, man. You can't have that online.
Dude, we're keeping it. We're keeping
No,
it.
That's the intro.
They're coming after me. They're coming after me.
Brother, that's the clip.
That's the clip.
Rando Kyle Mooney goes off on his rando tangent. But yeah, I feel like people, I already used this. There's an approachable quality to the whole thing, and I feel like persons who don't check out every project I do have sort of found their way towards just listening to us like shoot the shit. Yeah,
to know of the hard work,
right.
none of the sweat equity.
I like it when you just,
It's out quicker.
In our closet sometimes.
Yeah. You talk funny. You do some stupid voices, and
hey man, yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've listened to all of them while I drive to work, and you go like,
exactly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yeah, I hear you perfectly. What's your first name?
My name is Joanna.
Joanna. And where are you calling from, Joanna?
From Chicago.
Ah, we're in Chicago.
I'm living in like the South Loop area, pretty close to like Chinatown, Bronzeville area.
That's cool as hell. We filmed a movie called Win It All in that little Chinatown area. Joanna, Chicago, you got to watch it. On the South Loop, you got a special one. You got Gareth and I, and you've got from SNL and the What's Our Podcast, the incredibly funny Kyle Mooney is here.
No way. That's so exciting. Hello,
Joanna.
everyone.
How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
So now,
Awesome.
Joanna, it goes to you, young lady. What is your problem and what can we help you with today? We're going to pitch our asses off. We're going to get to the bottom of this one.
Amazing. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this as brief as possible, but there's like a little setup for the situation.
Play your game.
So I just moved to Chicago about 6 months ago. So I'm like a recent transplant from California. I currently don't have a car here, and this problem has to do with my grocery shopping experience. So there's only like one Trader Joe's that's relatively close to me, and I totally gave that away by telling you the neighborhood I live in. But since I'm relying on like walking or public transit, it's the most convenient one to get to. The issue is that it's also the same Trader Joe's location where I recently applied for a job, interviewed with them, and got an offer basically on the spot, and then ended up ghosting them and making things super awkward. The reason that I ghosted them was because I was kind of desperate to get a job at the time, but I was also interviewing for other jobs actually in my field, and the timing was kind of hard. So I asked them for more time to decide when they gave me the offer. However, they kept like calling me back, and a couple of weeks went by, and I was too scared to call back while I was trying to wait out my other job situation. And I ultimately got that other job and then never had contact with Trader Joe's since, except for the fact that I've been back in the store a few times since then. And every time I'm just like panicking and trying to avoid the hiring manager and the 3 other people who were on like the interview committee for me, who were all so nice, which makes me feel even worse. But at least one of them has been there every single time I've gone in, and I feel like I'm going to have a panic attack, like going around the corners of the aisles and just running into them because they just kind of like are popping up throughout the store. And I've made like awkward eye contact with them. I just feel terrible for basically ghosting them after the whole interview. So my question is, how do I handle these awkward run-ins long term when this is my only convenient and also like favorite grocery store in the area?
Let me start by saying good job, Joanna.
Yeah. Great synopsis.
Good setup. Kyle, just to start, what are your initial thoughts when you hear all that?
I feel you. I feel the struggle. You say you always see somebody from those meetings, from those interviews.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But there's never been any contact made.
No.
Right.
No, yeah.
But you know that they
never
know, when you make that eye contact, Joanna, is it clear that they know who you are, you know who they are, but nobody's saying anything?
Exactly. Yeah, which makes it so much worse.
And
I've like thought about disguising myself, but I just feel like that's doing too much.
That's going to get crazy.
It's on my list.
Is it?
Yes. Disguise is number 2.
Yeah.
How much time has passed since the interview?
The interview, I want to say it was like early October. So it's been a while. Yeah.
How did they?
That's good.
Yeah.
How were you
Yeah.
corresponding with them, Joanna?
It's a good question.
Over the phone. Yeah, they were just calling me.
And then they called you and said you have the job. They like left a message.
So actually, that was a whole thing in itself too, because I had like 2 rounds of interviews with them, and after the second round interview, the hiring manager like approached me in the store afterwards when I was shopping and like offered me the job on the spot.
Oh,
Damn it.
you were going to try to go for a technical difficulty.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes,
I love. That's where I was going to go too. That you,
Yeah, I never got
was
it
gonna-
because then you could approach them and say, "Hey, I don't want it to be weird. I never heard back, but it's all you guys have great staff.
Yeah,
I get it. It's
I was going to do that
tight
same
knit unit."
thing. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love what you guys are doing. I did just get another job, so if I'm still in consideration, please take me off.
Yeah.
But they said, so Joanna, you were in the TJs and somebody walked up to you, and what did they say to you? What happened in person?
He was like, "Hey, we'd love to bring you on board. What do you say?" And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm like shopping right now. I just wanted to have my shopping and go home and be able to, of course, like keep this option in my back pocket if it came about." But I basically said like, "Okay, can I have a little bit of time to think about it?" Which felt so awkward in the first place because
Yeah.
I feel like in my interviews, I made it seem like I was like ready to get going, you know, like
Right,
if
'cause you
I
were.
to get the offer. I was, yeah.
And so you
yeah.
said, give me a little bit of time, and then you never followed up again?
Yeah,
Oh,
and
Joanna.
that's on me.
It is,
That's
No,
on
but I
me.
get it. But I get it. Look, this is a real problem. This is actually wheelhouse for our show because this is real. And you want to go back to the TJs. You don't have a car. It's walkable. One thing that I don't believe in, but when you said costume, I just thought eye patch, but I think that's the wrong direction. I don't think we start creating a look that they go, I don't want to know about that. Because if you had an eye patch, their first thought is something's happening with her.
But Jake,
Yeah.
you are
But
saying
I don't think that's
and
the
saying
move.
you don't want to pitch it while also you are
Pitching
saying
myself
it.
into it.
You are saying
Well,
eye patch.
what I'm pitching is I don't think it's the right move, but here's my real pitch to you. Here's what I would consider. I have not obviously thought this out. I would go with 3 bottles of wine and a note, hand them to each and say, I just want to say, I'm so sorry I never got back to you. I appreciate the job offer. I've been in a really tricky situation with this other job, but I did take it. But thank you. And then how you doing? So that when you walk in there, you can small talk and socialize it. But I would go for the over the top apology. I would maybe even, and I know I go lie a lot, I'd maybe go lie.
Yeah.
Kyle, where's your
Like
head at?
make something up.
I'm still I'm trying to wrap my head around the best moves here. Part of me is the time thing, the fact that the interview was in October and we're now we're here speaking at the end of January. I'm thinking there is a chance that they may have seen more people, interacted with more people, and it's possible that you could have been forgotten. Do you think you put in enough face time? Do you think you made enough of an impression that like they know who I am, they see me, I'm a regular here?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say. I could just be overthinking it, but like one of the times that I was shopping more recently after this whole thing, like 2 of them were standing behind like the desks that they have for employees.
Yep.
And they were like both looking at me and making awkward eye contact when I would look over.
This is
And
a
I just like
nightmare.
I just thought for sure like they're talking about how I just never called them back.
And that you're weird.
It's also, they have that weird Trader Joe's help desk. I know exactly where you're talking about. And you do have to basically, it's an essential zone if you're going to be doing a shop. I am inclined to go in your direction, Jake, because I think hit it head on. If you had in November gone up to them and just said, hey, I handled that improperly, I got a job, but now you're living with this complex, I think you do want to find something to gift them.
I have an idea with the no gift. Go ahead, Kyle.
I listen, I think I'm always on the side of like going head on and being honest in some way. And I think your pitch, Jake, does accomplish that. And I think is a very nice gesture. just a full another realm that
Please.
I wonder if, and I don't know the name of the company you currently work for, but for the sake of it, I'm just going to say it's Supersonic Media, okay? I think maybe if you can find some gear, like a jumpsuit or a sweatsuit, if you just oversell the fact that you're taken, like you're spoken for, maybe you don't need to say anything ever, and they could just see, like, oh, I see what happened. Yeah. It's sort of like a walking billboard scenario.
You could also do a weird thing and do it from like the Jewel Osco. You could find another Chicago grocery store and just really represent their colors. So they go like, I guess all of a sudden she's Miss fucking Jewel Osco over here.
Well, to that idea, you could, if you are trying to cushion this fact that you could lie about what this other job is and make it a job that is so above and beyond anything they were offering.
How would that go? She walks up to them and goes, hey, just so you guys know I work for NASA.
You just say this. You go, look, you guys offered me the job. I really appreciate it. While I was mulling it over,
I was behind the CIA.
my NASA stuff started to happen.
She's going to seem like she's having a mental breakdown.
Which also is great. Then they go, we dodged the bullet.
The point
then
is,
the eye patch. Jake, then the eye patch. Then the eye patch.
What we're going for on this is that she can shop regularly. I got something that's I like Kyle's pitch of you just start wearing the clothes from the new place, but we're asking them to make a jump. Another thing that you could consider doing, and this is a weird play and it's going to make you seem weird, but it will end it, is go up to the person who hired you and go like, let's call him Steve, right? Mm-hmm. And go, hey, Steve, can I get a minute? And he'll go, yeah. And you'll go, so I've been giving it a lot of thought and unfortunately I'm going to have to decline the job offer. And they go, huh? And you go, the job offer that you offered me, remember I told you I needed a little bit of time to figure it out? With everything that's going on right now in the world, I'm just so slammed with other things that I'm going to unfortunately go like, but it's been such a hard decision. I've just been mulling it over. So I really appreciate it. But at this point, I'm not going to be able to take the job. But thank you so much for everything you guys done. And then go to the other two people and go like, thank you. I'm so sorry about, as if you were in a huge decision and now it's over. So now they're going to think you're weird, but they're just going to go like, man, we dodged a bullet. It's not going to be quiet weirdness. Then when you go in there, you can go like, hey, Steve. And they'll go like, how you doing?
You know, I love it. And I just want to get it out there.
Okay.
You could also go up to them and accept the job, and there's no way they're going to want to have you.
So they have to fire you.
Then they are the ones who have made it awkward with you. But there's the off chance that they want
they say yes.
So I do like the version where you go up and go, you know, I thought about it and I just can't.
I keep kicking it around my head. Go ahead, Kyle.
Well, I love that too, Jake. I'm curious, like somebody like me, I feel like it seems like you're sort of privy to awkward situations, and I find myself often in experiences like that, and I feel very vulnerable, and I'm not good at confrontation or you know, coming out to people. I would just say like a sort of a very same idea, but maybe a step down, so that you don't have to like approach a human being and have this conversation, is if you still have any of the phone numbers, or if you can find any way of getting a hold of them, if you can, I think chances are you would like, hopefully, knock on wood, end up in voicemail and just say that exact same thing. Just say, hey, just so you know, I didn't, all this thing, I'm sorry I didn't accept the job in time. This is what happened, da-da-da-da. If you just get it all out in some way, and I don't know if there's an email version or whatever it is, and hope that you don't have to talk to anybody, then I feel like maybe you could just walk into the store with the confidence of like, I said it. Whether they heard it, it doesn't matter, but I did it, and I'm going to shop now with the
and now
peace
it's on
of
them.
mind. Yeah.
Plus eye patch.
Plus size.
I like that too. Just the last thing I could say is you could combine some of these and you could put some of that in the card. Like you could decline with 3 bottles of wine and give it to them. So it's kind of like you are doing the version where you say, I'm not interested, but thank you for considering me.
Joanna, I got a crazy pitch because I like where Kyle's going. I think it'll be good for you, but it's been 3 months. They might not even remember your name. So they might just get a text saying, passing on the job, and they'll go, huh?
Yeah.
What if the main hiring guy, going back to, let's say it's Steve, what if you try to create essentially a romantic comedy meet cute with them? And so while they're walking, you like drop a thing of ketchup and then go like, oh my God, I'm so clumsy. And he's like, whatever. Then you both do the bend down and you go, good to see you again. I'm sorry about the job thing. I can't do it.
I can't do it as in I can't do the job.
I can't. Or like once you're in that spot, he goes, oh, no problem. And you go like, it is a problem. I'm paying for this. And you'll go like, accidents happen. And you go, you're always understanding. Some would say too understanding. What I need to say to you is, I'm not taking the job. That was a bad ending, but I'm trying to get to like
I was wondering
creative.
how you're going to get there.
I'm trying to get to, I don't know how to dialogue wise get there, but I'm trying to create a situation where you and one of these people are connected. That
You have
you
a
can
real
say,
moment.
or you don't even talk about it. You just go like, how's everything going? And then they'll go good. And then go, sorry if I never got back to you. I've been slammed at this other job. How's it going here?
Oh,
Yeah.
off of that, what if you approach this person whatever fashion and you say, you ended up hiring someone, right? I'm really sorry that I had to pass. You make them think you've passed to one of them already.
Oh,
Or
okay.
you say, hey, I'm sorry to do this. I hope this isn't rude. Did you guys ever get the flowers I sent?
Don't hate that either.
And they go, huh? I got pulled into this other job. It's my dream field, but I sent flowers, but I realized after, I don't know if I even sent it to the right place.
Interesting.
So you did
like that
pass
idea.
3 months ago, but you're checking on it now. Joanna, we got to hear from you.
Right.
What are you thinking about all this? Where are you at?
These are all amazing. The one that did stick out to me is like wearing a polo or something from my job, because I do have something like that could make it really obvious that I've, found something else. I love
cool.
the idea of the Jewel Osco shirt. I think that would just be so funny. Like if I just consistently wore something like that when I was shopping, especially because there's a Jewel like right across the street. So it's like,
Wait, why don't you just go to the
Amazing.
Jewel over that?
It's amazing.
You just like TJ's more.
I've had bad experiences with Jewel meat, so I'm just
Who hasn't?
Jesus. Jewel meat is not an appealing phrase.
no.
Jewel
it's
Osco
not.
meat.
Oh.
But so, Joanna, you're considering, and what is the name of the company you currently work for? You mind saying it?
I work for a university here now.
Oh, which one? University of Chicago?
Yes, University of Chicago.
Well, I don't think that pullover is going to work because it'll seem like you're a student.
True.
But
Although,
I do
don't
think
you think like a staff polo would stand out as different than like a merchandise shirt that like a student might have?
I don't know.
I have like
Especially
a
if I'm in
name
the-
tag.
But
if you have a name tag, that's perfect.
Okay. I could do something like that. I do also like the idea of the wine though. I think it'd be kind of funny if I like bought Trader Joe's wine and gave it to them.
I think that's really fun.
$2 Chuck.
And yeah, I could do flowers too. I don't know. It does require me to like approach them, which scares me, but
But I think
I'm
you
willing
should,
to-
Joanna.
to try. Yeah.
Yes.
Here's
And
why I
feel
think
we
you
just need
should.
to, like break the silence.
Yes.
Yeah, here's why I think you should. They liked you enough to hire you. They wanted you part of the team. You got weird, but you're going to live in that neighborhood for a while, and they're going to work there for a while. So
Yeah.
bite the bullet, wear the uniform, and say, "Sorry, I never came in." You know what I would actually do? I would go overly sincere. I really, really loved the opportunity to work here and work with you guys, but I got this job and I didn't know how to say it. So it's 3
Okay.
months late, and that's why I'm getting you $2 wine to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Plus
So
the eye
just
patch.
being-
And
just being
then they'll
honest
go
in
like,
the end.
they'll literally go, this is a non-issue.
Okay. Because it really is. It really is just me overthinking this at the end of the day, but this would help my shopping experience moving forward.
Well,
I
let me
believe.
ask you a question, Joanna. Are you going to actually do this, and what are you going to do?
I will actually do this. I think that next time I go, I'll buy a couple bottles of wine, and even if they're there that time, like I can just check out and then walk up to the desk or whatever,
Yes.
and try to get it over with, like right after checking out.
And what are you going to say?
And I mean, I think I'm going to just say, hey, like, I know this might seem really late, and it is, but I'm sorry for never following up with you guys. Just wanted to thank you because I really enjoyed talking to you in the interview experience. And yeah, I hope you found like someone else, I'm sure you found someone else great.
I
for
would
this
also
position.
mention that you got a job at the university and you've been fucking slammed.
That's a
Jo-
good idea.
Kyle, go
Joanna,
ahead.
can I just say one thing I want you to be conscious of? I think this all sounds great. And I think it's so cool that you're building up the courage and ready to do it. I would maybe be prepared though that like they might appreciate this gesture so much that they might become a very big part of your life. And so just know that that could happen, that like
It is a pitfall.
they might want to get drinks after or some point. Like you
That's
might
true.
Boundaries will be important.
This might turn it in the other direction, and it might ruin the Trader Joe's for you.
Or they're going to insist, they're going to make you an offer you can't refuse to be part of the family.
Joanna, I've got another pitch. Because I now hearing Kyle's thing, I wouldn't want that. I don't want it
you'd
every
also
time.
have to like every time you go in, you'd have to like,
Now
hey,
you
there
gotta-
she is. Yeah, there's like
Exactly.
constantly.
You know what I would do, Joanna? Big headphones.
Yeah.
They can be plugged
Sunglasses.
into nothing.
2 eye patches.
But I would just have a big pair of headphones that you carry with you, and when you walk in, you put them in.
Okay. So
I
you're
have-
just going to straight avoid the whole situation.
I would now, because thinking about what Kyle said, I think if I almost hired somebody, then 3 months later they gave me a bottle of wine and an apology, now I would feel weird not going out of my way to talk to him every time.
I got one more. This is just to burn the bridge. You're still allowed to be a customer, but nobody's going to want to talk to you. Why don't you start dressing like you work at the Trader Joe's? Get a name tag, wear a patterned shirt, tuck
You're
it
a
in.
lunatic, yes.
And you have it there, and they'll be like, did we hire her?
No.
And they'll be like, no. And be like, stay away from her. We dodged a bullet.
I don't hate the act crazy routine, Jan. All you gotta do, also go in the aisle one day, just start yelling, just weird out one day.
Have a
and
pen
they'll
behind
go,
your ear, like inventory was on your thing that day.
A fake
They're
Trader
offering help
Joe's.
to customers.
A fake Trader Joe's employee is pretty good.
Trader
But-
Joanna.
So, Joanna, what are you kind of thinking? We pitched going in a direction, we pitched the other direction. You liked the wine and confronting him, but what are you thinking? What are you going to do?
No, but after Kyle brought that up, I do agree. Like, that is something I should be prepared for. And while I'm open to having, like, friendship with them, I guess, that would also, like, ruin the experience in a different way, potentially. So, I think that, like, I do like the idea of just complete avoidance, like wearing headphones or something. My only issue with that is, like, when I'm checking out, it's kind of difficult because they're normally, like, very
Agreed.
talkative at the register. But I could kind of just keep doing what I've been doing and like try to keep my back to the desk and like not look over there as much as possible. But I
Or
also
lean
like
into
the
being
idea of-
lean into being Scarface. You're the fucking bad guy. You're the bad girl at Trader Joe's.
yeah, from Joel Osco.
Yeah.
I kind of like the actually going straight up all Joel Osco, and hopefully it leads into a joke with them. You know what I would do?
Yeah.
Get a Joel Osco employee's outfit.
Yes.
So you're wearing the Joel Osco with
The
a
blue
fake
name tag.
so they go like, "Oh, she's our competitor."
Wow.
And they'll
Okay,
probably, yeah. I was just gonna say they'll probably still have a soft spot for you because, like, oh, Joanna works for the competitor, but
Shops.
still comes here. Yeah, exactly. So like,
Right.
there's some
They're divided.
there's
It's
some tragedy,
conflicting.
but there's also some positivity. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I'm looking at like the employee uniform for Jewel Oscar right now, and I think it'd be pretty easy to recreate.
Well,
if
and
you
then-
do it, will you take a photo of yourself?
You could
Yes.
just walk by that help desk and just go, fuck the beef, and give them a wink.
They will know. They will know.
So, Joanna, what are you going to do here?
Many options.
Okay, so many amazing options. I genuinely think I'm going to try to recreate a Jewel Osco uniform and just wear it every single time that I go.
Jake, tell her what we need.
We need photos.
We need photos of you and your Jewel Osco ensemble, obviously.
I can make that happen.
Yeah, it might even be worth putting the phone in a pocket and giving us
Agreed.
a POV as you walk through Trader Joe's looking
And
like
then we need
the
you to walk in the
NASCAR
Jewel
driver of
Osco.
Jewel.
We need you to go through the Jewel Osco too, so that they all go like, "This is fucking nutcase walking around."
I think that's Miss Osco.
Also, for Halloween, you're Miss Osco.
Okay.
Just lean in. You're everything you love, Jewel Osco. You just don't shop there.
Exactly. I'm just creating more problems at more grocery stores now,
Yeah,
but this is
good.
good.
All right, Joanne, we'll do it. Dress in the Jewel Osco and then follow up with us. See if they say
Pictures.
anything.
Will do. Thank you guys so much.
I will
Thank
say,
you.
I don't think we helped.
I think we had fun.
You do? Okay.
More
I'm
importantly,
feeling better.
Well,
yes.
if it works, let us know what happens because this could be an interesting one.
Okay. Definitely.
Thank you, Joanne. Hello, somebody here?
Hello.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Can we get your name, please?
Hannah.
Hannah?
That's what I'm going to go by today is Hannah.
We got
Hannah-
we got two people here. Oh,
Okay.
sorry.
who else?
My name is Roman.
Hannah and Roman, are you guys together?
We are. We're in the same vicinity. We're in the same space.
And Hannah, where are you calling from?
New York.
New York. And how old are you?
Oh, man. Older than 30, less than 40.
Okay. We're going to say mid threes. You got Gareth and I, and you've got the incredibly funny Kyle Mooney. He and his buddy Beth Bennett have the podcast, What's Our Podcast? I just did it with Lamorne. You got to check it out. Hannah, what can we do for you today?
So Roman and I have a friend. We'll call him Eugene. And he just wears these fingerless gloves all the time.
In the winter.
Like in the winter. And we don't know, and he doesn't take them off inside. We don't understand their purpose, and he has multiple pairs.
Hundreds of pairs.
So we would like some advice on how to get him to either stop wearing them or at least take them off when he's inside. Because he never takes them off. We don't even think he takes them off to use the bathroom.
Okay. So you got a buddy who just wears gloves without fingers on them?
It's a look.
Yes, like those general cheap cotton gloves, but like with no fingertips.
Cool guy
And they're
gloves.
thin. They're so thin.
Very thin.
Okay. You guys hate them.
Yes, and we just don't understand their purpose. I mean, we're in New York. It's -4 degrees.
What
Wear
does he?
some full gloves.
What does Eugene do for work?
He
He's,
does like IT
IT
stuff.
Roman, we love you, but hold on. Let Hannah
Yeah.
answer just for a second.
All right.
Can you say again what he does, Hannah?
He does IT work.
IT work. Okay. Wow. That's a look for IT.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, he's a little eclectic. He's a little nerdy. But the gloves, yeah, they're just, and it's a rotating couple of pairs. He even has some, they're homemade. We just really don't understand the purpose.
And so you just hate his fingerless gloves, Hannah.
I don't want to use the word hate, but we just really don't like them, and we're very confused by them. We don't understand their purpose and why he doesn't take them off when he's inside or to use the bathroom.
Kyle, you got any feelings on fingerless gloves?
I'll be honest, and I do have some slight. I knew a man who wore fingerless gloves pretty often. I kind of liked it because he looked sort of like a bad guy from the Ninja Turtles or something like that. He looked sort of futuristic. But I definitely hear you. My immediate thought is like, I mean, I was confronted recently by somebody who is sort of I would maybe call a friend, maybe an acquaintance. I don't know where they lie. But they were like, they remarked on a piece of clothing I was wearing and was like, you need to change this.
Is that true?
It is true.
What were you wearing?
I actually don't even want to go into the specifics of it, but something that is on me all of the time.
Okay.
Like these fingerless gloves. But I had to take it in and be like, and she's like, oh, I'll take you shopping. And at first I was rather defensive, but then I opened up to the idea and like, I think I started to sort of reframe the thinking in my head, like, oh, maybe could be worth it to try something new, even if it doesn't feel totally right. So I think there is space to be like, how, to just sort of come at it in a very earnest way and just be like, how do you feel about the fingerless gloves? Because we don't know that they're working.
Well, I can definitely tell you that he is not giving off bad guy villain vibes in any way, shape, or form.
It doesn't look like a tough guy.
And I mean, right. I just we don't want to hurt his feelings.
Right.
So I didn't know if it was something where,
I bet we could.
I don't know. Do we all just start wearing them and then taking them off? Or do we all just start wearing them until he notices?
No, I think we could pitch on this. It's hard for me because Kyle, I'm different than that in that I'm not a great dresser. But if somebody comments on it, I don't think I would have that same approach that you had.
My approach. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, please.
No, your approach being like, let me think about that. There could be some validity to their thought. And let me see if maybe I can change. I would get really defensive.
Yeah.
Like even this shirt I'm wearing right now, I've been teased on it a few times, but I just really like the feel of it. And if I get teased on it, I wear it more. So if somebody said to me, don't wear fingerless gloves, I'm like, all I would ever wear is fingerless gloves then.
The thing is that it's not like it's not like a shirt, which by the way, your shirt looks great, Jake. It's like this guy's aesthetic is this look. It's a harder way in. I have a pitch that maybe gets you away from the directness if you want to avoid it. I love those restaurant makeover shows or anything Gordon Ramsay does. And the main way that those shows will dissuade behavior is bacteria. If you're saying that this guy's shitting with these gloves on, essentially, maybe there's a way for you guys to say you got a bacteria reader. And by the way, when like John Taffer reads the bacteria levels, he's like, it's 1,400 parts per million, which the numbers make no sense. You just know it's bad. So you could get something that you say is reading bacteria. You guys just wanted to clean your place. And then you ask about the gloves. You do a reading on the gloves, or you do it realistically. And I mean, his gloves are going to be covered in shit.
You might be onto something. Hannah, you could have him over and be doing something disgusting that he could have used gloves for, because I do think there's a practical reason to do fingerless gloves, especially in the age of technology. You can't move a fucking screen with gloves on, but he can do all his technology stuff, but it is not protecting the fingers.
Yeah.
The other thing you could do is you could gift him a pair of gloves that are really nice, that if he cut the fingers out, he's a fucking maniac. A nice pair of leather gloves. Because if you got him like a nice pair of $70 leather gloves and just said, we think you would look so handsome in these, and then
I don't know that I want to spend $70 on Eugene, but I like where you're going with that.
I hear you. Well, I mean, but you gotta do something. Kyle, without getting into the details, can you walk us through what happened with yours and how it was approached in case we go that direction?
It was in a professional setting.
Okay.
And it was a person who I think is sort of, I want to say, tells it like it is. And so that's part of their persona.
Okay.
And there was my glasses. They said you could have better glasses.
Oh.
And again, I feel like as I just described, I think it maybe helped because like this is a person I'm friendly with and I know the way they perceive the world. But I feel like it's happened before where people have said like, you got to change this thing. Yeah. And it is, like you said, always hurtful and
it doesn't feel right.
No, not at all.
It's terrible.
And, like, guttural reaction is definitely to be defensive because, like, I think for most of us, and I'm sure with the fingerless gloves, it's like, this makes me feel comfortable. This makes me feel like who I am.
Yeah, it's a whoopee. It's a blankie.
He looks good. He's also like, I'm cooler in him.
Well, okay, I have another alt pitch.
Okay.
And this could be a twofer. Since there's two of you, Hannah, you could ask if Roman could try on his fingerless gloves to see what he would look like, and then compliment the shit out of his hands. And just be like, you have...
What does that mean?
Like, just be like, oh my God, you have beautiful hair. It's like when someone with a great head of hair wears a hat. Or like someone with a sick, you know what I mean? It's like, if you just basically are like, you have beautiful hands.
Dude, don't cover those.
What are you doing? This is like a selling feature for you.
By the way, I like this as opposed to the straight talk as to not hurt his feelings, over complimenting the other part of his knuckles and going like, hey man, if you're the kind of guy that your fingers are out, that means you're not getting warmer.
Well, and
I would not cover those palms if I were you.
And you could play that. You could do the thing where, you're complimenting him, and Roman goes, "She has a thing for hands," and you go, "I seriously love them," and then Roman goes, "All right, you know what? I don't ever hear you talk about my hands like this," and you're like, "Look, I'm telling you."
Well, by the way, then she roasts Roman's hands.
Yeah,
Roman, and he's like, "My hands are," and you both go, look, his hands are better than my hands.
Eugene, why are you covering up these beauties? You should be out there. You're going to get approached with how good your hands look.
You know what you actually could do is you could actually set up and have a third person. Have a few people all in that moment just being like, they did something. I saw this thing on This American Life where it's all about like these guys went and it was a fake band. There was a real band and they pretended to be diehard fans.
Oh.
And they memorized all the band's songs, and the guys got to New York, did the first show, and all of a sudden there was like a packed theater of people who knew their songs.
Wow.
There could be a thing that you get a few people in on it, and it's Eugene has model hands.
We could totally accomplish that.
His
we have
best feature is
a
his
group of
hands.
people that would be in for that.
I mean, if you set up a magic, like a lot of magic comes when the glove came off. Call me, Eugene.
Yeah. What do you think about, and you had brought this up, Hannah, briefly, but I know if there's somebody who thinks they have a cool style and somebody copies it but does it worse, it ruins it. Mm-hmm. What if you started doing fingerless gloves but made it a whole thing like it was your personality? And so you became that. So that the fingerless gloves thing, the coolness of it was taken away by how kind of lame you are about it.
Yeah. I think that the idea of complimenting his hands when he takes them off is fantastic. We definitely have a group of people that would get behind us in that and support it and make it a whole thing. So I really like that idea.
All right, then try that and follow up with us. See what happens.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Kyle, thank you for joining the podcast, buddy.
Thank you, Kyle.
Thanks for having me, guys. Hope you have a great time.
Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Appreciate it, bud.
We're Here to Help is hosted by Jake Johnson and Gareth Reynolds. If you'd like to be on the show, please email us your question at helpfulpod@gmail.com. And if you want to watch video episodes of We're Here to Help, you can go to our Patreon at patreon.com/here-to-help-pod to see our entire catalog.
We're Here to Help is produced by Rabbit Grimm Productions, executive producers Rob Hollis, Jeff Porter, and Natalie Hollis, associate producer Jesse Thurston, editing, mix, and master by Chris Faller.
Theme song by Oliver Raleigh. The cover artwork is by James Fosdyke. Animations by Andrew Strelecki. And if you'd like to see Gareth do stand-up on the road, go to GarethReynolds.com. Remember, all of the advice given on We're Here to Help is for entertainment purposes only, and all listeners should be adults and make their own decisions.
That was a HeadGum podcast.